Well, it happens. What I need you guys to tell me in no uncertain terms is if you can hear me loud and clear. Break it down for me, jump on the live and see if we can get this proverbial show on the road. I need to straighten out my tie. I'm over here at Simoson Building, plot number 8585 on Simon Mwewa Lane, and I need you to go ahead and break it down for me. Tell me if it's gelling. I know the sound wasn't so good earlier.
Victor.
Are we good?
Hello, Victor.
Let's see.
In no uncertain terms is if you can hear me loud, show on the road. I need to straighten out my tie.
Is the broadcast clear?
Simoson Building, plot number 8580.
All right, I think we're good. Guys, jump on here, and I've got something to tell you. You know, first of all, let's go all the way back to the beginning. As many of you know, not too long ago, there was a young man by the name of Elias who had posted on his Facebook page that he would organize a group of thugs to break into Kiddist's home and rape her. And in the process, those same guys would abduct Kiddist's child. Well, Kiddist and Yomaps didn't think that that was funny. They didn't think it was playful banter. They didn't think it was child's play. They didn't think it was an innocent exchange of words. They took it very seriously. And I keep telling you that in this current environment that we are living in as Zambians, there is a digital framework that we have to be aware of, every one of us. This is a cautionary tale for every social media personality, every vlogger, every blogger, every person that calls themselves a social media pundit. You and I, every single one of us, has a responsibility to do the right thing and to work within a certain circumference. When we step out of those boundaries, we bear the brunt of our actions. And so when Kiddist and Yomaps decided to take this matter to court, which was the right thing to do, many of you trolls supported, and you were screaming for Elias and saying, Elias, you know, you've done the right thing, you're a hero. But in your heart of hearts, every one of you, you know that everything Elias said, everything he insinuated, everything he implied was unlawful. It was detrimental, it was dastardly, it was damnable, it was despicable. And you know that. And so the matter sort of saw itself unfold in the court system. And what I find so strange and so odd about Elias Musiani is that even while he was going to court, he would smirk, he would make funny faces at Kiddist, he would wink at Kiddist. He would make light of the very serious situation he was in. And guys, I keep telling you, don't mess around with the court system. Playing on Facebook is one thing, but when you enter the legal juggernaut, it's a completely different game. And I told you that when Elias would smirk and smile and wink and make these funny faces at Kiddist, I came on here and I said to you, the judge sees all of that. The judge reads the room, the judge looks at you, she sort of examines your demeanor, your composure. All of these things play into her ultimate decision. But Elias somehow seemed to be in an alternative universe. Elias seemed to think that the rules didn't apply to him. So here it is. What happened was today, after months of going to trial and after months of social media trying to place Kiddist's character on trial, instead of focusing on the real issue. The real issue is this. The case in the file is this. It's got nothing to do with Kiddist's personality. It's got nothing to do with Kiddist's perceived involvement. with Elias, which was never there. It never existed. Okay, it has everything to do with the charge. The charge was he threatened violence against Kiddist and her family using an electronic device. And if the charge is that, and the prosecution proves that beyond a reasonable doubt, it means he's going to prison. So it's got nothing to do with all this stuff that Elias's lawyers were trying to create some type of red herring and trying to bring into question Kiddist's character, because that's what it's all about. What these guys do is that because Kiddist is a woman, they try to take advantage of the fact that she's a woman and try to label her as some type of loose cannon. Well, they failed to do that because that wasn't the case. So anyway, fast forward to today, Elias has been found with a case to answer. Now, let me explain what that means. It doesn't mean he's guilty yet. Okay? Let's be clear. I want you to say that in the comments. The magistrate declaring today that after examining all the submissions, after hearing all the testimonies, the judge has deduced and concluded that indeed, Elias has a case to answer. It doesn't mean he's guilty yet. So then the question then is, well, if that's the case, why has Elias been picked up from the courtroom and being arrested by plainclothes police officers? Why? Well, there's a reason, and the reason, it's going to shock some of you, but others of you, it's going to make perfect sense. I need you to tell me in the comments, say, we are ready to hear why Elias was arrested even after the magistrate declared that he had a case to answer, because under normal circumstances, when you go to court and the judge says you have a case to answer, what that means is you go home, you strategize with your lawyers, the court gives you another date, and then you go and defend yourself against those charges. And at the conclusion of that case, if the judge finds you guilty, even after having defended yourself, if the judge finds you guilty, then the judge sentences you. But today, that's not what happened. Elias was simply told that you've got a case to answer. The moment that was done, all of a sudden, these officers came and they picked him up. And the question is why? Here's the reason why. Tell me you're ready. We're ready to hear it. Well, the reason, and this is a fact, okay, I wouldn't come up here and lie to you. This is a serious matter. I wouldn't come up here to fabricate stuff. I wouldn't come up here to weave yarn just to entertain and titillate you. Everything I'm going to tell you is a fact, bona fide fact. If it were not so, Jesus said, I would have told you. So here it is. The reason Elias was picked up today is because it has come to the authorities' attention that Elias Musiani was being funded by someone, and then Elias took that money that he was given and he started paying sites like Private Eye, all these paying people like Why Me, and all these guys to create, fabricate slanderous stories about public figures. And when Private Eye was arrested, he mentioned Elias Musiani. He said, we've been given money by Elias to scandalize these people, and here's the proof. The money comes from Elias. When the authorities checked the money transactions, they found that the money was truly coming from Elias, paying Facebook pages like Private Eye to scandalize public figures in an effort to discredit them and their names. So do you now see that Elias's entire modus operandi Elias Musiani's entire existence is based on slander, and he's being funded by guess who? Tell me in the comments who you think is funding him. So let's recap so that you understand. Today, the magistrate simply said, Elias, you have a case to answer. Under normal circumstances, anyone that's told by a magistrate that you have a case to answer, that person is not found guilty yet. You go home. When you go home, you re-strategize with your lawyers. The court gives you another date. You come back. You are now on your defense. You're going to defend yourself against the declaration by the magistrate's court saying that you do indeed have a case to answer. That can take another 2-3 months. So it wouldn't make sense for him to be arrested because the magistrate court declared he has a case to answer. Today, Elias Musiani was arrested on a completely different set of circumstances. He was arrested because it has been discovered that these pages like Private Eye and other pages were being paid from Elias's pocket, who was being funded by guess who? Who was funding Elias? Who? Who was giving Elias money to turn around and give Private Eye and other pages to slander, to discredit, to create fabricated yarn against public figures? Who was funding him? Tell me in the comments. Before I tell you who was funding him, tell me in the comments. I need you to tell me who was funding him. I need you to tell it. I need you to say it. Break it down. Hector, tell us who was funding. You guys know who was funding him. Who do you think was funding him? Who do you think was funding Elias? And so today, when Elias was about to leave the courtroom, after having been told, you have a case to answer, all of a sudden, these people rushed into the courtroom. And they picked Elias up, handcuffed him. Let me tell you, Elias is in big trouble. With the existing digital framework that is in existence, with the existing digital framework, Elias is in very big trouble. This, my brothers and sisters, is a cautionary tale for every one of us that are involved on social media. This is a cautionary tale for anyone that calls themselves a content creator, a vlogger, a creator. People like Why Me are on the loose now because they have escaped. People like Chilufya Tayali are on the loose now because they have escaped. They have escaped the noose of the legal rope because they know that all they do is sow discourse, fabrication, lies. And when you injure people in that way and they take you to task, don't cry wolf. Don't. Elias's mother is on record. She's crying and screaming and saying, the blood of my son's my son's blood is on Yomaps and Kiddist. That's a lie, madam. Your son's blood runs through his veins because he has chosen it that way. Kiddist and Yomaps are not the villains. Your son is the villain. Your son is the despot. Your son is the common denominator. Your son is the vagabond. Your son is the leech. Your son is the bottom feeder. Your son is the most reprobate mind. And instead of looking at all these other people Mrs. Musiani, it's time for you to sit down with your son, look at him toe to toe, eyeball to eyeball, and you tell him, son, this is the end of the rope. Stop being this way. Become a normal citizen, a responsible young man. Don't get involved in this stuff. But if you as a mother are going to start defending and creating excuses for your son just because he's your son, you're creating a monster. Mrs. Musiani, your son's going to be that way. Your grandchildren are going to be that way. Your great-grandchildren are going to be that way. Their foolishness is going to outlive you. You've heard. You've heard. You've heard. Thanks for watching.